it's obvious that we are living a pandemic. Everyone here in the audience is wearing a face mask. I see social distancing. You all did this process to get in here. And that's because you are well informed. You know the facts. You know everything about the coronavirus and the impact it has. But there are some risks during this pandemic, apart from the health risks, we tend to forget. And this is fake news and the effects it has on children. A recent study by the Center for Advanced Studies in Educational Justice in Chile found that 1 in 4 children in Chile think they can prevent coronavirus by spraying chlorine on their body. And 1 in 7 children in Chile thinks that coronavirus is a weapon from a foreign government. And this is because they're mainly informed by social media. Social media is part of the massive amount of information we receive on a daily basis. Whether it's from tweets or articles or podcasts or videos or posts, scientists have discovered that the average human being processes as much as 34 gigabytes of information a day. And this increases every year. But not all this information is based on facts. There's fake news, false information. And this fake news is endangering societies. Actually, experts are talking about information warfare. And if we talk about information warfare, we should be talking about defense. We should be finding ways to defend ourselves. And the best weapon to do that is education. We should educate the digital natives, the younger generations. We should start teaching journalism when they start using the internet. Because as one Newsweek editor said, you are entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. And to understand where fake news comes from, we need to go back in time a bit. Because fake news has been among us as long as there's been press. 2,000 years ago, Roman Empire, there was a civil war between Octavian, he was an adopted son of Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony, he was one of the most trusted commanders of Caesar. And what Octavian did, he started a fake news war. He started spreading rumors that Mark Antony was a drunk, that he didn't live by Roman values, that he was not fit to uphold office, and in the end, Octavian won the war and became emperor of Rome. Other examples, like inciting rebellions against medieval kings by spreading news the king was sick, or spreading racist slur about the Afro-American community to defend slavery in the United States, or Nazi propaganda to incite or grow this anti-Semitic tendency in society. So these are very large subjects, but they show how big the impact of media and news have always been. Flash forward to the age of internet, because right now we have mass media. Before, we depended on the daily newspaper, a radio channel, the 8 o'clock news. Right now, we are constantly overflown by this massive amount of information. We're basically swimming in an ocean of information from the very moment we wake up and we see the smartphone next to us. But from that ocean of information, this rotten stream of fake news has submerged. And the world became familiar with the term fake news ahead of the 2016 elections in the United States. Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. What Donald Trump did as a presidential candidate was blaming or branding news outlets, fake news outlets. While at the same time, this massive smear campaign was set up, spreading lies about his opponent, Hillary Clinton. And one of the most remarkable lies or conspiracy theories was Pizzagate. And Pizzagate is about a child pornography ring allegedly run by Hillary Clinton and John Podesta under a pizzeria. And this may sound really ridiculous to you, but there are many people today who still believe this theory. And it even went as far that one guy in December 2016 entered a pizzeria with a gun and he fired a shot because he thought there were children being hidden under the pizzeria. American intelligence suggests Russia was behind this campaign, and this already gives you the biggest and best example of how fake news can influence societies and, for example, elections. Because although Mr. Trump might suggest otherwise, this fake news campaign did influence the outcome of the elections. A study by State Ohio University found that 4% of the people who voted Barack Obama in 2012 didn't vote Hillary Clinton only because of the fake news they read. Fake news about her health, about her past, about endorsements for Trump. They just stayed away. So now that we know where fake news comes from, let's take a look at how it goes viral. Because when we talk about an information war, we need to get to know our enemy. And one way it goes viral is because of us. We are actively spreading fake news. For example, I get a message or an article with funny facts from a friend, and I forward it to 3 friends. Those 3 friends, they send it to their families, and the whole web of fake news grows. If you think about it, it's basically like the coronavirus. 1 gives it to 3, 3 gives it to 5, and it spreads that way. If we stay a bit with these pandemic terms, there are also super spreaders. Super spreaders of fake news are mainly celebrities and influencers who have this massive reach thanks to social media. And although they are only responsible for 20% of the fake news spread online, their engagement go up to 70% of the total number of people that see fake news. So who are the soldiers in this information war? That's mainly bots and trolls. Bots are automatically programmed social media accounts with the sole purpose of putting as much fake news on your timeline as possible. Trolls are social media accounts run by humans who, out of political gain, because of the fun of it, or because they get paid for it, spread fake news. The battlefield of this information war is, of course, like I said, social media. I think everyone here has social media because you're part of the 4.5 billion adults worldwide who has social media. Actually, 80% of all the adults worldwide under 50 years old has social media. But also a lot of children are on social media. In the United States, half of all the children between 10 and 12 years old is on social media. And even 1/3 of the children between 7 and 9 years old is on social media. And this is quite worrisome because children are very vulnerable to fake news. So if bots are the soldiers and if social media is the battlefield, we should also talk about algorithms, because algorithms play a big role in spreading fake news. They're basically the trenches. Once you get in, it's hard to get out. Because algorithms work a certain way that, based on your search history, your likes, your shares, your personal interests, your friends, your family, they fill your feed with content, they prioritize certain content, thinking this is what you might like. And this might seem very helpful, but it gets very dangerous at the moment that your feed increasingly gets filled with fake news. It's basically getting trapped in a swamp of fake news, an information bubble of false facts. And this is very damaging. Why is fake news so damaging? I think the pandemic has shown us why. Because on various levels, there's a huge damage. And the first one is on personal level. There are friends, there are families who stop talking to each other because they're convinced the pandemic should be tackled another way, or they even think the pandemic isn't real. They have different opinions about vaccines, about the government, about the pharmaceutical industry, about where coronavirus comes from, and often those opinions are fueled by fake news and conspiracy theories. But also there's a lot of damage between the person or people and authorities, and I think the best example is what we saw earlier this year, 2021, on Capitol Hill in the United States, when an angry mob stormed American Congress because they were being fed for weeks by fake news about rigged elections, about voter fraud, and they were fed up. They took matters in their own hands and stormed the symbol of democracy in the United States, showing how powerful fake news can be, undermining democracy there. But also, it damages the relationship between people and media. I work as a journalist, I work for a national newspaper, and when I say I work for a national newspaper, people say, oh, you're part of the mainstream media. Or when I cover the pandemic, they write fake news under my articles. When I covered the elections here in Chile, I received death threats because people said I was actively trying to influence the outcome of the elections. And this is also shown in numbers. The Edelman Trust barometer showed that worldwide in 1 year, trust in media dropped with 8 points from 61 to 53%. And 60% of the people who responded to the survey even said that media are actively trying to fabricate their own information to support their ideology. So it really shows everyone is just losing confidence in media, even in the Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands, and globally the Netherlands ranks worldwide among the highest countries when it comes to media trust. But our national television broadcaster, NOS, had to put the logos of their vans because they were being attacked by people during anti-coronavirus protests. So the most damage gets done to children, minors, because all minors in this world grow up in the age of internet, technology, smartphones, tablets. They are constantly in touch with technology, whether it's for entertainment, for social contacts, or for information. But like I said, part of the information they find is fake news, and this is very worrisome. Why? Because children don't have the cognitive capacities yet to determine whether something is fake or not. They simply lack the abilities, because they're untrained, to find out if something is fake news. It's basically like saying to your children, walk home from school, but I'm not going to tell you which bus to take. Another big problem is the way children use social media. Social media by children is often visual social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Stuff like videos, photos, that's getting shared by them. But the way the brain works is that visual information gets processed a lot faster than a written text. Meaning that if a kid looks at a video containing fake news, he processes the information even before being able to detect whether the information in the video is true or not. And of course, children are not only on the receiving end of fake news, they also actively participate in spreading it, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, because children want to be part of the group, they want to make their friends laugh, they want to send a funny video, but it's also because they are not aware of fake news. And to make children aware of fake news, a guest workshop or some parental advice, it's not enough. Because the way fake news, technology, and the internet is evolving asks us to look more profoundly at solutions to tackle this problem, to defend them in this information war. And the best way to do that is at the moment that the kids start using the internet is to give them journalism classes. Why? A journalist or journalism classes is not just about learning how to write an article or learning how to produce a video. When you become a journalist, you acquire a certain set of skills, and those skills can be very necessary or very helpful to survive on the battlefield that we call the internet at the moment. Skills like verifying sources, get to know where your information actually comes from. Research skills. Find out where you can get the best information and also evaluate that information to see if it's up to date, if it's credible, if it's backed by, for example, science. Critical thinking. Question everything you read, you see, you watch. At the moment that you teach children that critical thinking, they will question fake news when they see it. An eye for detail. For example, as journalists, we look at the bigger picture, but we also develop an eye for detail. And that eye for detail can make the difference when deciding whether something is true or not. But the most important thing, teach children about media, teach them about the media landscape, teach them about social media, teach them about fake news. It's crazy we are not giving this more importance considering the amount of time children spend online. So we, the media, have a role in regaining confidence, in teaching them how to do this. We, journalists, have a role in informing. And the best way to inform the people is to educate them. Thank you very much.